Okay, it's time to get going. Oh, good God, it's hot out here. Whew, man, it's like pure humidity. Feels like 77 my ass. I don't know who's feeling that, but it ain't me. The humidity is just off the charts right now. Oh my God, it's hot. Pouring sweat down my face. Yeah, I hate that app. Anywho. Alright. Well, welcome to Thursday morning. About 8 o'clock. Gotta get on the road here. I've got some workmates that are waiting for me. Morning. Workmates that are waiting for me at our old breakfast place. We're at Island Grill, old stomping grounds. So I figured I'd take the little Super Cub for the commute this morning. Give it some exercise. Haven't been out on it in a little while, at least not for a work commute. I gave it a bath last week and left it sitting on my patio under the gazebo, and we had a torrential rainstorm. A couple of them actually, so it's all rain spotted up. I tried to wipe it off, but yeah, whatever. Probably just gonna run through some puddles today. Woo, oh God, it feels good to get moving. Middle of the road, what you doing there? Oh, that air feels good. Humidity is 100% right now. It's 99.995%. Thick. Thick, thick. I have no idea what to talk about this morning, except for my squeaky rear brake. I need to pull the rear wheel and tire off of this thing anyway to figure out that slow leak issue. Clean out that brake drum at the same time. They tend to get a little squeaky after a few thousand miles on this, I've noticed. So it's just the brake dust in the drum back there making noise. The slow leak seems to be getting slower. I don't know what's changed. It's still leaking down, but nowhere near as fast as it did. So that tells me that it's probably something at the bead. It's not fully seated somewhere and just barely leaking past the bead real slowly. I aired it up, you know, put 36 pounds in it or whatever when I washed the bike a few days ago. And it's been sitting on the patio all this time, and I checked the tire pressure this morning and it was down to about 22 or something. So it's leaked down quite a bit, probably 14 pounds or so, but that's slower than it used to when I would air it up full and it was down to, you know, 10 pounds or something by the end of the day. So that's just a bad seat on the bead somewhere, I think. Took the back road. Well, I haven't lubed or adjusted the chain on this thing in forever. It's not sounding real crunchy or anything, so I guess it's doing okay. Oh, that sounds bright. I haven't put that new chain on here. I've got a RK, I think it's RK, O-ring chain, 420 O-ring. Those are kind of hard to find here in the States. 420 is generally not a performance street chain, so you only find them in standard chains, you know, non-sealed. So I ordered that one from WeBike Japan before the Cannonball in 21, and I never put it on. So this thing has got its second OEM chain on it, and they're just so stupid cheap, man. They're like $8 or something. I can't remember what I remembered paying for them. I bought 2 or 3 of them just to have them. They're so cheap. They're not very high quality. They do stretch and wear quite quickly in being unsealed chains. If you run them dry, they eat themselves quick. Always got to keep them sloppy, goopy with chain lube. During the Cannonball, I think Adrian and I were putting almost as much chain lube on our chains as we were oil in the crankcase. We were burning 130 to 180 mil a day on the road, full tilt, and we would just top up the crankcase each night. You know, we check it about halfway through the day and make sure nothing crazy was going on, but definitely top it up at night and slather up our chains with a whole bunch of chain goo. And there was so much extra chain goo dripping off of those chains that it was leaking out of the chain cover, you know, like dripping out the bottom of it. That ought to do. Put them in an oil bath. Somebody, one of my viewers, commented saying that there should be a crankcase breather that dumps right there into the chain case over the chain, which I thought is odd. I don't know if the old ones had that. I don't remember that. I never had an older Cub. I just had the CT90 and CT110, which were the off-road bikes, and they didn't have that chain case. But that's interesting. I don't know, maybe if anybody watching out there had an older Super Cub, did they have like an oil overflow or a crankcase breather that dumped into the chain area? That's kind of smart. I mean, if you're not emissions control bikes, you know, in the old days, you always had to have some kind of a crankcase breather, and the modern way to do that is you feed it back into the intake. That way the engine re-ingests that hydrocarbons and the vapors and stuff that are in the crankcase. But in the old days, they just used to be vented. I don't know, it's kind of cool. Self-chain lube, auto luber. Oh, I forgot to show the contents of the milk crate behind me. I've got my laptop bag in there, of course, and then I have a battery charger that my buddy loaned me, because I've loaned out by others and haven't gotten it back yet. So I'm taking that to the warehouse today. I'm going to hook it up to the Rebel and let it just sit there for a few hours while I'm working today, and then maybe on the way home I'll swap this for the Rebel. Haven't had the Rebel on the road in at least a couple of months. It's been a little while. Zoom zoom. Everybody racing, competing for position. You go ahead. Really need to move out of the city. It sucks when you're stuck living kind of at the edge of your means, not necessarily due to any choice or fault of your own. That's just how the economy has gone these days. But you know, you're stuck to where you're kind of locked in position. You can't really move laterally because it costs money to move. So what do? You know, you gotta manage to scrounge up enough money to coast and pay for the moving costs and all that kind of stuff, and figure out where you're gonna go, where you're gonna rent or lease or buy, or what are you gonna do, and then what do you do with your current house and assets and all that kind of stuff. Are they going to fit in the new place, and yada yada yada, blah blah. So, you know, it's kind of where I'm at. I want to move. I don't know where I'm going to go, but I know that this is not sustainable for me. I'm losing my brain here. It's too busy, too chaotic. Crime is through the roof in this city lately. Anger and aggression are just off the charts. Everywhere you go, you can feel it. It's just tangible. Everybody's angry all the time. So I lived in Austin for 6-7 years, and worked down here in Houston about half the time. And I never wanted to live down here, but it was the work that just kept me here. It's oil and, you know, industry and everything down here. So that's how it always works. People go where the money and the sustainability is, but at some point it reaches a critical mass that it's no longer living, it's surviving. And that's where this has been for me for a long time. It's just surviving, trying to get through the day without getting run over or carjacked or bike jacked or one thing or another. It's just getting crazy. Time to move. I'd love to live in a rural area again, out in the country somewhere, just much slower pace, lower cost of living, so you're not running the treadmill or the hamster wheel as fast. Your burn rate isn't as high, so you don't need to make as much money. You can slow down a bit and actually live instead of just work. So I forgot to mention that Cannonball registration opened up last weekend for the returning riders and alumni. It's $400, I think, or something like that. It's gone up. It's considerably more than it used to be. I want to say it used to be $150 or $250 or something, so now it's up quite a bit. But they're putting a lot more into the planning and the prep and all the stuff surrounding the event. You know, they're going to have food, drinks, all kinds of stuff for participants at the start-finish lines, and that'll be good. So anyway, I'm too broke to register right now. I gotta wait until I can recover some funds. Hopefully, maybe this weekend, middle part of next week, I'll have a few spare dollars that I can rub together. I think general registration for public or new riders opens up on June 22nd, something like that. I'll park over here, that way I'm not using the whole parking space just for little old me. These people aren't open for breakfast hours. They only open in the afternoons, evenings. So I'll park right here. All right, made it upright. That's a success, right? Alright, leave all that stuff here. Ugh. Oh, it's steamy. Weather's supposed to be clear today, but hot, humid. Whew. Where are the boys sitting? They must be on this other end. There they are. All right, off we go. That's a lot of wood. Still trees getting cut down everywhere from that storm that we had several weeks back. 100-mile-per-hour winds. A lot of big old trees went down in that. I need to get this thing out on another road trip. I guess I could take it up to Scoot the Ozarks this season. I was kind of hoping to get my SilverWing back together before that, so we'll see how things turn out. It'd be fun to road trip the SilverWing. Haven't done that in a long time. I'm trying to remember, I did 1 or 2 cross-country trips on the SilverWing. One for sure. I'm trying to remember how far the other one was, but when I say cross-country, I'm talking, 3,000 plus miles. So I think the SilverWing will go back together without too much drama. I do need to get tires for it. I had to do a good search for suitable tires for that. I went through several sets of tires on it over the 6 or 7 years that I was really riding it. And it was the Pirelli Diablo scooter tires that I had been having really good luck with. I liked them. They were very grippy, sticky. The rears didn't last a super long time. I was getting maybe 5,000 miles out of those. But they were good tires. But Pirelli doesn't make those anymore. They discontinued that entire line of tires. So I got to find another brand that should wear okay. I'm thinking maybe some Metzlers if I can find something decent in the right size. I don't know. I'll figure it out. I'm not really a fan of Dunlops. I don't believe Michelin makes any city grips or anything in that size, because the SilverWing's got pretty beefy tires on it. Beyond that, it's just a bunch of labor, putting things together, doing the stuff that needs refreshed on it, brakes, and refresh the CVT, scuff up the drive faces and everything in there on the pulleys and the clutch and all that, and tearing the plastics down and putting them back. I might pull the entire nose off of the bike, which, man, pulling that front fairing on that thing, it's a giant one-piece fairing. Oh, does it suck. It is such a pain in the butt. But I need to get in there and replace my failed air horn. I put a Stiebel Nautilus air horn or something. I can't remember what the brand was. Stiebel, S-T-E-B-E-L, Stiebel. Anyway, I put that in there when I had the nose off of it many years ago, right in the center behind the headlight assembly and all that, where the ABS pump goes on the ABS version of the bike. So it was a nice empty spot. I was like, perfect, this will be great. It's centrally located, it's kind of facing down. Yeah, I came on. So anyway, it died and it doesn't work at all anymore, so I have no horn on the bike. And silly me, I decided to use the original horn wires as triggers for that. So that means I can't just reach up there and reconnect the original horn. I'm stuck. We gotta figure out how to get in there to those wires or pull the whole front of the bike off again. So I'm not sure what that's going to be. If I do that, if I end up pulling the whole front of the bike off, that's fine. I'll do some electrical work while I'm in there and put in a couple of accessory circuits and some other stuff that I've been wanting to do anyway. So, and check out this Rolls Royce SUV. I took pictures of this thing the other day. It's massive, man. That is one huge SUV. That is a huge SUV, man. Okay then, time to work. All right, well, we got accomplished what we needed to do here today. We're going to be coming back tomorrow. Hey, the Rolls Royce is gone. It went into one of the other bays. I don't know which. There's no flipping way I'm getting out on that side. Traffic is too crazy over there, so I'll go this way. That Rolls Royce is a $500,000 vehicle. They start out at like $378 or something like that, almost $400,000, and then with all the bespoke options and customizations and all that, it's a $500,000 vehicle. crazy, crazy. That is just insanity. There it is, right there. That's the one. $500,000 SUV. Goodness. When you just have to be the coolest kid in town, I guess. So I'm going to head over to the warehouse and hook up the charger to the Rebel. If it charges relatively quick, I might go ahead and swap this out for the Rebel and ride the Rebel home. But if it's going to take a while, I'll let it go for, I don't know, 20 or 30 minutes, enough to get the battery topped up enough to where it can turn the bike over and get it started, and then after that everything should be okay. You go right ahead, man. Oh, Jesus Christ. He just about got nailed. You see that? Fucking squid dip. Pulled right in front of that car. Couldn't figure out how to get his feet to the ground. He wasn't in the right gear. Making all motorcyclists look like idiots. No footer, no footer, no footer, no footer. Oh, come on. Ow, still no footer. I haven't put my feet down. Full stop and never had to put the feet down. No footer, no footer, no footer, no footer, no footer. Maybe, still no footer. Oh, and I'm not cheating. My feet are really on the pegs, kids. Oh, is he gonna go? Is he gonna go? Still no footer, no footer, no footer. It worked. Nobody coming? No footer. Look at that. How slow can you go? Ugh. Damn, this road's rough. Ugh. Go back there and pick up my kidney. Whoa! Asshole never even stopped. Just tried to roll it right in front of other traffic. Gotta love Houston, where everybody thinks stop signs and red lights are optional. Hey, we got some pavement out here to cover up the giant craters, meteor impacts. Nice. I just hope they resurface this whole road instead of patching it up all over the place. There's all these construction trucks and cranes and everything. I've done a number on this street. It was already bad before. I've arrived. I will go inside and hook up the charger on this battery and see if I can have any luck with it. Ugh. Hey, still have my second one. I haven't really even looked at this charger other than we tested it. Oops, tested it at my buddy's place to make sure that it worked. It is a Viking 612 high frequency battery charger maintainer, 4 amp. It's got multiple modes, so I don't know. I'll plug it in, see what it does. Okay, well, look at this Frankenstein nonsense. The battery that was in there, the NLP 14, whatever this is, yeah, it probably shows up on camera. Anyway, totally dead. I mean, down to 1.2 volts. So the charger could not recognize it and wouldn't even turn on. So I had another fresh one, much smaller one, NLP 5, that I planned on putting into my XT250 to resurrect that thing. I just Siamesed it up, used some quick disconnects here, positive to positive, negative to negative, to basically fool the charger and jumpstart this dead battery, because the charger would not engage. The voltage was so low. Now, I don't know what the prognosis is for this battery. It's not real great. Normally, if these things are run down that low, they're not coming back. But with some lithium ions and some lithium phosphates, you can jumpstart them with another battery that's good, and it just kind of takes a heavy inrush of, electrons and angry pixies from your good battery over to your dead battery to try to resurrect it. So we'll see how it goes. I'm going to leave this overnight. It's not going to be a quick fix. We'll just let that go. And it's kind of fluctuating up and down between 13.2 to 13.4. So we'll let it go, see what it does. If I manage to get about a 13.7 to 14 volt charge out of it by tomorrow, then I'll try to fire it up. Resurrect the Rebel. Okay, well, we'll see how well that Frankenstein operation goes in there. My parallel jump start charge for that dead Noco battery kind of bums me out. I'm not sure what caused it to drain so far, so fast, so dead. Bye-bye, I don't know. The bike wasn't left on or anything like that, so it's not boding well for longevity of that battery. It might not be recoverable at all, so it's another... Shit, that was expensive battery. It's like $170 or something like that. 160, 170, I don't know. Paid a bunch for it. So, find out. Give it a day. Let it sit there and charge. I set that charger on AGM mode. It doesn't have lithium mode, so AGM is somewhat safe. I think that's a little bit lower float charge because AGM batteries can't boil off their electrolyte. Gotta be careful with them. So I'll come back over here first thing in the morning and see if I get lucky on my jump start for that thing. If not, then I guess I gotta shop for another battery. I didn't have anything attached to that would cause excessive drain as far as I know. There's no other accessories on there. Now I do have one of those quad lock smart chargers, but it was set in the off position. I never run them in the on position. It's either off or auto. So auto is supposed to automatically shut off the load or the charging circuit whenever the battery drops below whatever it is, 12.1 volts or something like that. But whatever did it really drained it, killed it. I don't have any motorcycle jumper cables. I need to get some of those. I made them a couple times. I guess this guy's sleeping at the switch here. Okay, well, you got a green light if you're not going to go. World's waiting on you, man. I made a couple of small sets of jumper cables with real flexible copper wire, super flexible stuff that I could roll up, and they weren't very long. I mean, they were maybe 6 or 8 feet long total. Put some real high quality alligator clips on there. That's the problem with most jumper cables for motorcycles is automotive style ones have got those massive clamps, and they don't fit on the tiny terminals for motorcycle batteries. Hell, they don't even fit under the seat area. You can't even get them in there sideways to reach the terminals most times. So, I need to look around for a good set of jumper cables. I used to like those little lithium jump packs, but I don't know. I had a couple of those, even by name brand like Anchor. When those cells start going bad, they swell up, and oh man, I'm just worried that they're going to explode. You don't want that thing to go off in your car, your glove box, or whatever. Man, that's a bad idea. So I don't carry those anymore. I had 3 of them do that. It expanded out and puffed up like marshmallows. Like, oh crap. Never even slowed down to look. Wow. That's why I always try to avoid the right lanes anywhere in town. So many people blow right-hand turns, never even stop, never look. $43 miles in and only 1 tick down on fuel. Not bad.